When it comes to affordable space-themed watches, you probably think of this, or maybe this, but you probably didn't think of this. This is the Marloe Astro, so let's take a look. Here we are then, the Marloe Astro in all of its square glory, or squircle as Marloe actually referred to it. This is 38 by 38 millimeters, the watch, and it's 10.6 millimeters in thickness. We've got a lug to lug of 20 millimeters, which is good because you might need to buy some more straps for this one, but we'll talk about that later on. The crystal here is sapphire and it's dual AR coated, and it is very good actually, the AR coating in this one. I've been out and about in the sun and it's always very legible and pretty good for a large slab of glass reflecting sunlight. And the movement on this one, it's a Miyota 9039, so high beat, nice smooth seconds hand, reliable movement, and yeah, I think a great choice. No ghost date as well, worth to point that one out. In terms of finishing on the case, you've got polished surfaces on this small area around the sapphire glass. Moving on to the sides, it's polished again, and these cutouts are like bead blasted. So it's nicely done actually, I gotta say, it's a high quality finish. See the crown there, push-pull crown with the Marloe logo as well. The real highlight for me with this watch, and my favourite thing about this watch, is the attention to detail, and particularly around the dial. So looking a little bit closer, this is a really beautiful layered dial. You've got a chapter ring with 1 to 12 in Roman numerals. Stepped down from that is a minute track in blue with minute markers in the white. And you'll see around the indices, looking a little bit closer, you've got a raised chamfer there on like a ring around the indices. It's just so interesting to look at up close. The hour and minute hand, they're actually chamfered as well, so they play with the light nicely and give you something, again, a little bit different, and it's all attention to detail. And surrounding the dial, of course, you've got this really awesome honeycomb pattern, a nod to 2001 A Space Odyssey, which I haven't actually seen. Apparently there's a tunnel in there with some white honeycomb in one of the scenes. Talking of other nods to space, you see these 4 crosshairs in the corners on the dial, and I don't know if it was actually based off the Apollo 13 film, but I certainly remember Tom Hanks fighting violently to get his spacecraft back on the correct trajectory when they were doing one of the burns in that film, and you see the crosshair moving all over the place, in and out, and at the last minute, of course, he gets it back pointed at the Earth. So yeah, that's a really nice nod. And when we talk about Apollo, of course, Apollo 11, first moon landing, you've got that yellow accent on the 11 there. They're just really cool little details that Marloe have put in there, and I really think I think it really shows that they've put a lot of thought and a lot of attention and care in the design phase in this watch, and they've executed really well. Talking of fun little sort of space nuggets, the crown is shaped based on the Soyuz space capsule, and I think it did well over 100 flights. I'm not too sharp on the history of it, but yeah, just another cool feature. There is actually one other spacey nugget that I forgot to bring up, and that is the case shape. So these rounded edges on the square, dubbed the squircle by Marloe, is actually based on the 1960s TVs that you would have watched the moon landing on, or seen the Russian rockets taking off on, the big cathode ray TVs with the huge boxes behind them and the little rounded edges on the corners. So again, like I keep saying, really good attention to detail. Talking about lume on this watch, there is a little bit. So on the hour and minute hand, you have a small amount of lume there, and there's 2 dots just at the 12 o'clock, which you can see when you look closely. I'll put a lume shot in now. The lume is, at best, very mediocre. It's not a lot of lume, and it's fine if you just want to charge it under a UV and see it, or if you're going from bright sunlight into darkness, you'll get a quick blast and you'll be able to tell the time, but don't expect this to be legible after a few hours, because it isn't. Anyway, I think we'll flip the watch over and I'll take a look at the case back. So the case back on this is really interesting. It's really well done, just like the dial of the watch in that sense. So you've got the Astro printed here on the glass with a globe, and there's a rocket actually orbiting it, which is a nice touch and a nice little detail. It does say to the moon and back as well, just in a small text, as you can see down the bottom. There's Marloe Watch Company and British engineered, and then there's the serial number, this one 0043. It is a limited edition, but last time I checked, there's plenty of stock in all of the colorways, so if you're looking to get your hands on one of these, then yeah, at the time of recording, I don't think you're going to have any issue whatsoever. And the case back itself, it's got a really nice radial brushing, really high quality, and 4 screws holding it in and pressing it down, and I assume there's at least one gasket in there so that we can achieve the quoted 100 meters of water resistance. And here we are with the watch on the time grapher. So unregulated Miyota 9039, it's averaging between +6 to +8 seconds per day, nice healthy amplitude. Beat error is a little bit high, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing horrendous, it is unregulated, so for me, it's okay. Let's move on to my complaints with this watch. So the first thing that I'm going to start with, and the reason we haven't spoken about it yet, is the stainless steel bracelet. So this is ordered directly from Marloe. It's stamped with the clasp, as you can see, with the Marloe logo, and it's got polished center links and brushed kind of outer links there, and a really nasty pressed clasp. And the issue I have with this bracelet is the quality of the rest of the watch is absolutely fantastic, and then you put this bracelet on and it just cheapens the whole thing. It's nasty, jingly jangly, and it's got no right being attached to this watch. And I haven't tried the rest of the Marloe range, but if the finishing and fit is anything like this watch, then I really don't think they should be selling this bracelet, because I don't think it does the watches justice. Here's the other strap that I purchased with the watch. So it's Marloe branded white Velcro to help you live out your astronaut fantasies. Unless you have the perfect size wrist, more than likely you're going to have some of this excess Velcro on display, and when people can see that around your wrist, I think it just cheapens everything again. So yeah, maybe you guys don't mind it, but again, I don't think it does the watch justice. I haven't tried the FKM, I haven't tried the leather, so I'd be interested to know if anyone has any feedback on those. But failing that, for now, from my perspective, I would recommend that you buy your own straps or bracelets and find a much better quality that the watch deserves. And so where do I stand with the Marloe Astro? In conclusion, I think that it's a really interesting and quirky little watch. I think for somebody looking to add something a little bit different to their collection, it absolutely ticks all the boxes. I think if you really love square watches, it absolutely would tick all the boxes. And I think in terms of space-themed watches, talking about a lower price point, the obvious choice is the Bulova Lunar Pilot. But if you're not really into the quartz, or you want something that is a little bit different from the norm, then I think this is a great choice. Or, of course, if you're not such a fan of quartz, then again, you'll probably lean more favourably into this one. But if you want the prestige and the history and the true space story, then I guess, again, you've probably got to go back and look at the Bulova. But yeah, I think it has its place, and the drawbacks are only minor, so I would definitely recommend this piece, but 100% change the strap, buy something nice for it, treat the watch with what it deserves. Just a side note, if you've watched this long, I really want to say thank you very much for watching the channel, for supporting the channel. I'm trying to upgrade the quality of the video and the audio constantly, and really improve it, but it means a lot to already have passed 300 subscribers, and obviously the first video I think hit some sort of algorithm as it did some crazy numbers, and yeah, I was only just doing it really as a test video, so thank you very much for your continued support. Please leave any feedback, any comments, let me know what you think about the Marloe Astro, about Marloe watches, or any feedback on the videos, anything that you'd like to see improved or anything you'd like me to take a look at. Yeah, I'm always interested to hear it, Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you on the next video, and cheers.